Your call has been forwarded to the automated upload system of
The American Drill Report.
At the tone, please record your message.
So, Andrew Schuster from Massachusetts. Um, you're hip to call forward. I'm pretty sure you designed the logo. So, we'll just jump right in if you've got time.
Absolutely.
Cool. So, uh, first, I kind of want to discuss the capacity that you have operated within this community for many, many years. You've obviously been very involved with MassDrill, everything that you've produced, and a bit more from a, I guess, historian perspective. But how many years has it been since you've been to Daytona?
Oh God. So the last time I was in Daytona was my senior year of high school. So that's 2016, which makes this past year 9, and then next year will be a decade since I've been in Daytona.
So that means you're returning next year?
I tell everybody every year that I'll return, and then I never show up. So you never know. Maybe.
Well, fingers crossed on that. But let's talk about MassDrill first. Just kind of explain where the idea originally came from, how the objective of it has changed over time, and what keeps you um, involved with this project despite not being on site in person for such a long gap.
Yeah. So MassDrill started as a two-person team that my now cousin by marriage, DeAndre, and I started just as like a fun little thing for us to make videos and t-shirts and do whatever, just something that was like a outlet for the both of us to enjoy doing things. And that's honestly kind of where it started. We were both very creative people. He was a video editor, I was a video editor, and we really just wanted to like make cool stuff. And that from there just we kind of popped up on the scene at a perfect time because it was like one of the newer independent teams to pop up of that wave. So, we got a lot of attention from brands like FTA and Glendale and all this stuff like that. We started growing. And then from there, we like throughout high school represented it. It grew from there. And I was like, you know what, why don't we open this a little bit? Kind of seeing all these online teams like River City and Generation Drill and all this other stuff that was going on. And so I was like, you know what, DeAndre, like, let's just see who we could possibly get to join. And I had some buddies that I was like pretty good friends with online. And I'm pretty sure the first person we had join was Jonathan Wurzelbacher. Uh, Shout out to Wurs. And then it just like snowballed incredibly from there. And I had a list of so many amazing people and friends join just off of the premise of all of us like making cool stuff under a banner. I mean, you were a big part of the team for a good while. Chris, Trey, Noah, Cameron, Abby. Like, there's so many people I can name. But after the team, quote unquote, was kind of established, it slowly kind of started to fade as I got older. But I wanted to stick with drill at some point, and it kind of started taking off more in the sense of me making t-shirts and cool little logos and designs and stuff for my friends. And that's kind of where I am today, of like the community t-shirt guy that kind of has used this as an outlet to make some really cool stuff for a project and community that I've put hours and thousands of dollars and years of my life into. But I think that answered your question, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist. This is so outside of getting the opportunity to craft things. What keeps you engaged with this subculture in particular, as opposed to many other activities and whatnot over this kind of span of time?
Yeah. So I have a lot of friends that I made through the sport, some really close ones that I still talk to almost every day, even though we're all kind of like adults at this point. But I ended up surrounding myself with a bunch of people that had as much passion as I did to do cool stuff for the community, in the community, and just around it in general. So like Johnny and I talk all the time. Everybody, knows how much work Johnny puts into all of his projects and stuff he does. You and I have talked a lot. I have really great connections with Glendale and NGA and Drill Warrior. Like there was always some sort of project that I found myself being a part of or helping get started, or some sort of thing where it's like a stupid idea that it's like, hey, I have some time and some resources and I feel passionate about it. How do I just do something for the sake of the community just to see if something cool could happen? And so you'll kind of see, like, I just connect with so many people over the years in so many different ways that if there's a project that exists somewhere, somehow down the line, I'm probably just like, I talked to somebody or helped, or I made the logo, or you know something stupid like that. But there's always some sort of involvement there, just because I don't know, I can't escape drill. I haven't been to Daytona since 2016, but I can't escape it. My friends are here. It's a really fun activity. It's a really great outlet.
What it
Um,
sounds like is you got trapped because you made yourself too valuable, so now everybody always turns to you for any anything that you're good at. There's there's definitely a lot of people that hold a lot of enthusiasm for creating anything in a digital space in this activity, and so very few of us have any amount of technical know-how or time to put into it. So yeah, you're definitely an indispensable resource, and you couldn't leave if you wanted to.
I know, and it's so weird. Like I was so blessed to just have this one weird niche like thing that I'm good at, of being a creative technical person, that for some reason I'm needed in so many different places, or I can at least uh, be of help, that I find myself like amazed at things that I get involved in or that people even consider me for. But I'm very like thankful that they even consider me in that way. But yeah, like as much as I don't show up to events or I barely spin a rifle, I can't escape it. I really am like stuck here.
Well, as long as you're stuck here, does the constant involvement, I know that you said that you always tell people every year that you're going to go to Daytona the next year, but like, do you find yourself being pulled more to actually go out of your way to come to some of these live events again?
I honestly have been really tempted in the last couple of years, just because of how long I've been gone and how much I miss some of the people, and I'm excited about some of the projects that I've been involved in. Daytona has always been a thought every year, and then May comes around, and I'm like, oh, I didn't get a plane ticket or a hotel. That's probably not going to work. Um, Life has usually gotten in the way in general of me going to Daytona. I told everybody, like, I prioritize things that are going on here and what I'm doing with my life over drill, but I still give, time and effort to drill. I really need to get down to River City, like drill comp. I've been dying to do that. I was really hopeful and excited to make it to your comp this year, and I'm sad I'm not able to make it. Um, yeah, like Daytona, I would want to, if I go to Daytona, I want it to be something special, whether it's me competing again or watching one of my like really close friends compete or something like that, just because that's such I live in almost the most upper east of the United States. So it's like hard for me to say I'm going to go across the country vertically to spin a rifle for a weekend and kind of make that financially feasible. Um, but it's always there, like the wants, like the post Daytona blues get so real that I see everything happening and I'm like, damn, I really wish I was there for that. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'll always say maybe, because if I do show up one year, I'm not going to tell anybody, just to keep it a surprise.
Well, we should definitely collaborate on something going into some Daytona if you ever do decide to come, because there is, like in the last few years, the transition from it being the FTA games to just the drill games to being the rifle flow games. It's been a small vibe shift, but I do feel like it's helped to kind of develop the nomenclature for non-military style rifle spinning, if that's ever going to become like an actual substantive thing. But I do feel like there's a lot more space in Daytona, whether it be earlier than the games or throughout the event or the night before awards. I feel like there's space in Daytona to do some other kind of special event activity, to host some unique something.
Hmm.
Like I've even looked into collaborating with a group out in Florida that hosts fire jams and then do like a fire flow jam out in the amphitheater on like Saturday night. It's a bit of a logistical headache, so it hasn't happened yet. But I do feel like there is something for us to collaborate on to make a big deal out of something at some point. But I mean, I guess that's also the impression that every creative in this space always has about everything always is, oh yeah, there's so much possibility to do something and there's so much enthusiasm for ideas that are yet undeveloped, where the half developed ideas are yet unfinished, and round we go. But
Exactly. And there's so like, and just how I am with all of my projects is I put so much of myself into it, so much time and effort that I would want it to be amazing. I really did consider going to Daytona next year to do something special. I'm in talks with like New Guard America right now on doing some sort of like cool artist project collaboration that I'm trying to make come to life. Uh, ADR is something Johnny and I have really put a lot of time and effort into that I'm trying to do. um, I can just spill the beans on that one a little bit, just because I have this collection of Nationals patches since like the 80s to the most recent years, and I really want to do some cool artist projects there. I really think if I'm to do anything project wise that involves the public in the next couple of years that takes place at sort of any event, it's going to be more centered around like an artistic outlook on drill, whether it's, creating an event, an exhibition, something that's just interesting that gives you a whole different aspect of what we usually think of as drill that isn't necessarily a competition or, some sort of hangout. It's something that shows the sport, or some people call it an art, as an art, which I think is really interesting to kind of delve in on.
it sounds like you and I need to talk more often because I'm very much on the same page there. There's so much to do in this space. I'm like, I'd love to develop the rifle flow thing, and I'd love for this to be a non-military style activity that we can engage in this way, that way, and the other way. But like the the keyhole view of what that I have of what this could be is just that. It's a very, very limited perspective of what I have as a frame of reference for what I think could be next. If we're going to create more of a uh, performance space or an art space or a generally palatable space for the general public, it's something that needs to be done among multiple creative minds collaborating, because
Mhm.
otherwise it's just a weird pursuit of an abstract concept where there's no uh, confirmation bias.
Exactly. I would love to put together something like a Miami Art Basel and just take every opportunity. There's so many people in this community that want to be creative and make cool stuff, and I think it would be amazing to have some sort of outlet out there for everybody where we can all kind of not even celebrate the sport, but celebrate each other in a very non-competitive way, where we're all just kind of appreciating the work that everybody puts in to love this sport.
Preach. All right, that's we're going to talk more often now.
Yeah.
I need to make a point of that, but we are coming up on the 15-minute mark. Are there any final thoughts that you would like to share on artistic development or MassDrill or projects?
Artistic development, there's just so much going on. You'll hopefully see. I try not to make promises, but there's so much that I'm trying to do, and I'm hopeful to make it happen. MassDrill, you're just gonna see the same kind of high quality, more, in-depth campaigns and drops and stuff. The same kind of artistic outreach of just making really cool stuff for people to enjoy. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I'm here in the background. I'm very quiet, doing my own thing, helping the community where I can, and that's kind of where I enjoy staying at the moment. So if anybody needs to find me, you can always find me somewhere.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, thank you for being our on this episode of Call Forward, and I'll talk to you soon.
Of course, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. See ya.
All right, see ya.
Thank you for listening. Stay dialed in. You could be the next call.